Hey guys, we're going to do part 4 today. I've had a bit of a break between parts 3 and part 4 thanks to Christmas, New Year's, all of those fun things. Once I got over the excuses and decided to address the issue of my anxiety instead of just ignore it and pretend it wasn't there, I had to really analyse what was causing me anxiety. So I knew it wasn't the act of just jumping on its own. I could jump singular jumps from a trot or a canter. I could do cross country. I'd done a couple of cross country clinics, which I'd had heaps of fun doing. It was, once I figured it out, it was the act of stringing show jumps together and thinking that I was going to arrive on the wrong stride, so get the wrong distance, and that I thought I didn't have enough time to prepare between jumps as well. So it was really once I started to do exercises in my lessons where I was stringing jumps together and jumping a bit of a course that the heart rate would come up. I would start to shake, jelly legs, all of those things. So there's an exercise that I've been doing at home that has really helped me improve in terms of counting down the strides into a jump or a pole. And it's so simple and it can have so many different variations. So I'm going to demonstrate today with Miranda and Connie. Now they're both coming back into work. Miranda obviously was in a lot of work last year. We're going to do it with cavaletti with Miranda. We'll just do it with poles with Connie. We're just going to set up 4 poles along the center line, 1 at A, 1 at C, and 2 20 meters apart in the middle, and do a variety of different exercises using these 4 poles. Now you can do poles on the ground, cavaletti, cross rails, or verticals, whatever your level is and whatever you're comfortable with. And I'll go through a few different variations of how we can ride this exercise. It's really helped me to start to string jumps together again and to think about my striding. So hopefully this will help you work on some of your fundamentals as well. Hopefully my horses behave themselves, and let's see how we go. So the first way that we did this exercise was I would go large. I would jump either end A and C. As you can see, I don't actually have an arena, but you know, I have measured out a 60 by 20. So I would go large, do the 2 at either end, then I would do the 40 meters, come back and do my original, and then I would do that 20 meters. So Miranda just had a bit of a problem getting that lead. I had a bit of a problem getting that lead. So we just repeated that 20 meter circle, and then we go back and do the exercise expanding again. So back up to that 40 meter. And then we'll go large again and do it at either end as well. So I've purposely left in some of the mistakes that we made today, just so that you can see that even though it's a super simple exercise in terms of the setup, everything can go wrong. You can cut your corners, you can come in and miss the straight line, jumping the jump, or, you know, you can get the wrong lead. So I went and did this both ways. I started on the right, which is what I've got here. We did do it on the left as well. The next variation to do this exercise is as a serpentine. So a little bit trickier because you obviously need to think not just about the shape of your circles, but about picking up the correct lead after you go over the obstacle, whether that be pole, cavaletti, vertical, whatever it is that you decide to do. So I tend to do the full serpentine up and back, and then I'll change rein and do the same thing the other way. I found doing it this way that I wasn't quite getting a good quality of canter, so you'll see a little bit further along I did repeat the exercise and just really asked her for a little bit more. Now, how this exercise, the 2 ways that I've showed you so far, has really helped my confidence is that, firstly, being a simple exercise, when you're suffering from anxiety or a confidence loss, the last thing that you want is a complicated maze of poles in the arena that, you know, you need a physics degree to decipher. So having a really easy setup that you can vary and do different exercises over, and just really focus on the fundamentals makes a huge difference, and it's a really good benefit. Secondly, I really focus on the jumps, and as I come into each obstacle, I really think about my strides. So coming into each one, I'm going 3, 2, 1, jump. So every single time I'm coming in, that's going through my head, so that I'm consciously telling myself when we're going to take off. If I think that that distance isn't any good, typically, I mean, my go-to is to shorten the stride, but I am going to start to really try to sort of push for a longer stride instead, especially as we start to jump higher when Miranda's a little bit fitter again. So really it's consciously stringing two obstacles together and thinking about where we're going afterwards. So am I going left? Am I going right? Really thinking about the corners. You can see that Miranda does like to fall in on the left. So being conscious about each corner and how we're actually riding each course, and of course when we're going to take off. So such a simple exercise that you can vary for so many degrees. Here I just wanted to push the canter a little bit more, so I went through and did that serpentine again and just did a change of rein down the long diagonal in the middle, and then went through and did it the other way as well. So it wasn't overly attractive today, but I think Miranda did quite well, given, you know, she's been out of work for a few weeks and we've only just brought her back in, and we're both sort of feeling a bit more confident. If you are concerned about her ears being back, I can assure you she is perfectly sound. Her saddle fits, her teeth are up to date, she's on the best food money can buy, her shoes are up to date. She's just a mare, and she does put her ears back sometimes, so she's certainly not in any pain. We also went through and did the same exercise with Connie. Now, if you want to make this exercise a little bit more complicated, what you could do is add an extra pole and space them out at 15-meter intervals. Alternatively, if you want to make it easier, you can take a pole out and just have 3 and put one across the very middle of the arena across X, which is what I've done with Connie here. She was in and out of work last year, really quite unfit, quite unmuscled, unbalanced. So I really just felt having 3 poles today would be sufficient for her. She falls in a lot as well. So this was going to be enough of a challenge for her. With Connie, we just did the poles, didn't bother with the cavaletti at this point. We'll leave any sort of serious jumping for another couple of weeks with her until we can get that strength up. But I just did that same exercise. I went large and did the poles at either end, and then I did that center line, or across X, sorry. So we did it that way. I did that both ways. I did that the left too, and that was kind of enough for her. So we didn't bother doing sort of a figure 8 or a serpentine, because she was kind of a bit tired by then. But just a good sort of demonstration on how you can adapt this exercise to different horses and different levels, and how it's just a really simple confidence booster that you can do at home with or without an arena. So I hope this helps.